What's going on, y'all? And welcome to Black Love Lens. This episode is titled, Excuse me, sir, are you happy? Oftentimes, men and happiness are not really correlated with each other for various reasons, but we're going to get into it after this. Y'all know the drill. Share this with a friend, sit down, relax, and get ready to tune in. What's going on, guys? Black Love Lens. It is Wednesday, so that means you know what time it is. I'm not having this conversation by myself because how could I without my favorite dating and relationship consultant in Nyatu Marvel? Let's get him on up here. Let's get. Hi, you.
Happy winning Wednesday, everybody.
You know what time it is. Hey, I'm feeling like a winner. I just took a nap.
Okay.
You'd be so proud of me. I've been getting up really early, doing all kinds of things and napping. I feel like that's what adults do.
I love it. I think there should be such thing as nap dates. Like, seriously, like people are underestimating the power and the beauty of the nap.
Listen, a little snack and good night. Like,
I'm just tripping out here.
Oh, there you go. There you are. There you are.
I'm like, what am I doing? I got too much going on in the world.
Listen, I totally understand. It's been that kind of day, but it's good. And so I titled this one, Excuse Me, Sir, Are You Happy? Because believe it or not, I had a couple conversations on two different occasions in the same week with men, and I was discussing my life coaching. And it kind of led us to this whole "Are you happy?" thing. And then I saw King J. Barnett on this clip, and I was like, well, I never thought about that because, I'm a woman, but I've also thought about times where I've spoken with my dad about some things, and we'll get into the conversation because you might have to help me out on this. So,
right.
You guys know how we do in true Black Love Lens fashion. We're going to run the video and then discuss it. Let's go.
This lady asked me once, she said, have you ever been happy? And I was like, no. I was like, I don't even know what that is, And I broke down, man, because I was like, I didn't really know what that was. Because I'm like, man, there's no such thing as happiness, right? But growing up, my dad was so big on, hey, keep a level, stable mind. You don't get excited. There's no fun. It's like, even like when I played ball, he was like, just make a play, do your job, and just like, don't be a showboater. And it wasn't so much about a showboater. It's just like really just expression.
Expressive, yeah.
So, and I think part of that, man, was really like, man, I've always felt like everything's just, you do your job and that's it. So happiness was not even a thought.
Talk to me. Is this a thing?
Yeah, this is a rabbit hole for sure. It's heavy for sure. But I don't want to, I think it's dangerous to try to speak for all men or all Black men in that space. But what I will say is this really got me thinking, right? There is no simple like yes or no answer. Have you ever been happy? I mean, yes, I have been happy, but the first thing that came to my mind was a quote from James Baldwin, who says, to be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a state of rage almost all of the time, right? And he goes on to say, because it's not only what's happening to you, but it's like what's happening around you. And so when I think back to my childhood, I had lots of love. I had lots of people around me, and I had lots of things that I could do to enjoy myself on a daily basis. That I lived close to the beach, close to the museum. They were all free. I had a bike, I had a skateboard, I had a basketball. I could play softball, I could play football. I had all the things, right? But when I was 6 years old, at our family reunion and picnic, two white gentlemen rode up on a motorcycle and fired like 10 shots into our family picnic, right? And my father just raised his hand and did this, and me and my brother both hit the ground because he had trained us that was the signal to just hit the ground. So just the fact that he had to teach us that, and then we had to put it to use at 5 or 6 years old, it made me think that there are things that probably chipped away at my happiness. I was 10 years old the first time I got assaulted by the police. They thought me and my friends were older than we were, and they thought we had committed a crime. And after they had been beating us up for a couple, 2-3 minutes, they, I guess, became a little more self-aware and started to look at us and was like, wait, how old are you? How old are you? How old are you? And nobody was over like 12 years old, right? But they was like punching us and kicking us before they came to that realization that we were really just kids. And so, yeah, I called one of my buddies and I told him I was going to steal this from him. But he said for us that happiness is like an iceberg. You know, there's some things that you can see that make us happy and reflect our happiness and that take away from our happiness. And then there's some things that are under the surface that contribute to our happiness, but also take away from our happiness. But it's a big thing, because even if things are going like tremendously great in your own life, if you're aware of what's going around us, there's always something happening in this country, that should have us pissed off, for lack of a better word.
My goodness, that is a mouthful. That's really true. It's a lot. We have some people in the chat. Hey, Dawn. Hey, girl. It is. It's very sad to hear all this and come to these understandings together. Hey, E-Love, what's going on? So yeah, when I watched this and saw this, first of all, I'm sorry that happened to you. I know you're grown and you processed but it's like, the not yet a mother, but still the mother in me is like a 10-year-old. Oh my God, like 6 years old. Like it's very hard to comprehend and sit here and, have a straight face about it. But I chose this clip and I was perplexed about it because it does kind of feel like men, and Black men especially, almost, it seems like happiness is almost like a privilege just because of these things that you express. Your dad, being on his P's and Q's and having to teach, thank God you guys were obedient, kids at such a young age, something of that that's very grandiose to have to tell a kid, just in case, so to have those types of things, like you said, running under the surface, the responsibility that you guys have to carry on your shoulders, not only to protect yourselves and protect the women around you and to provide for people and to provide for yourself and your children. It's just like happy. Like, what you mean? I got this to do. I got to do this and we need to do that. And you can't be, so it just seems very, and what I was going to share about my dad is growing up, obviously I'm just this airy girl and I'm like, yeah, all over the place. And I'm like, I need to find a job that makes me happy. I want to have fun today. My dad is like, happy? You don't go to work for fun, to enjoy yourself. Like, this is the, and it was really perplexing to me. I didn't understand. Like, I still don't understand. I'm like, why not? Why not the joy? Why not the happiness? Why can't I? Why does this have to be so heavy? But as I got older, I would look at him and be like, oh, okay, this man has 3 girls. Like, he's carrying all of us, including my mother. It's just happiness and getting to laugh through things. It's just like, okay, we got to get, you know what I'm saying? So it just is really crazy.
Right. Yeah. It's wild. Like, you wake up as a man, and again, I'm not saying it's any different for women. I just don't know. But we wake up and it's like, are you doing enough? Considering all the people who you may be responsible for in some way. You might not be totally responsible for everything about these people, but there is some responsibility. And I'm at an age now where the sight of the police doesn't do anything to me. But my childhood, my teens, my 20s, and my 30s, almost a state of panic. Like, the police is like, they turn on the lights and then they go past and you're like, because you don't know how this is going to go. And some people, if you haven't experienced it, it sounds like it has to be an exaggeration or something of that nature. And I, not to judge people's appearance, but I know that people's appearances are judged. So like, I never had the braids. I always was, even the beard, like this is the wildest I've ever been, is to have a beard. Like I've always been this clean cut, appearance, and still, having downtown addresses and things of that nature, and still having that fear and those problems with the authorities that I know that my white counterparts aren't experiencing at all. And so my son is 21, dangerous age for a Black man.
I hate
very, very dangerous age for a Black man. So yeah, I probably spend a portion of every day going over what I should say to him, trying to remember and make sure what I did say to him, and not trying to ruin his fun and make it where he's totally focused on these negative things, but certainly aware so that you don't find yourself in super duper compromising situations. And it's tough because even amongst each other, the attitude is like, toughen up, there's no crying in baseball. Like men, we don't have the luxury of, we don't feel like we have the luxury of certain things. So it's just like, you just better figure it out, and you just better get it done, and you just better, and it doesn't matter what has occurred. It doesn't matter what's still up against you right now, that you're, experiencing right now, today, that that you would not be experiencing if just the color of your skin was different, or even possibly your gender was different. It can chip away at the happiness that's there, or make the things that you experience that are very happy not as happy. I grew up in hip hop in the 90s, and a lot of it was like super duper pro Black. And so I remember Public Enemy playing a clip of Minister Farrakhan saying that a brother is only truly a brother if you want for your brother the same things that you want for yourself. So it's like, even if I don't have to worry about my bills, and I love the space that I live in, and I just went here and I just went there and I did these things, there's some joy there, there's some enjoyment there, there's some happiness there, but always in the back of my mind, like, I don't like that Black women feel like the most disrespected human beings on the planet Earth. I don't like that Black men and women aren't able to come together. Those things might not affect some other people, but for me, they chip away at my happiness, because even if it's good for me, if it's not good for y'all, I have a problem with that, because I know it's not designed. I don't have my chest poked out. Like, if everybody just did what Nyatu did, then the world would be great. I understand it's only designed for so many of us to be able to get to certain places and be able to attain certain things. And so I do empathize with my people, which again, chips away at the pure happiness. But I will say that I am able to take a break and take my mind off things at times. But on a daily basis, nah, that's not a thing.
Wow. I just, I understand every single thing that you're saying. And I do feel like it's different for women. And I don't know, am I just speaking for myself or all women? Because I do know women that, well, all, you know what I'm saying though. I do know women that, there's so many of us who go through so many hard things. We have to do a lot alone. I have a lot of friends who are raising kids alone, not having the partnerships, and just, so there does sometimes come this burden factor, but I still feel like as a woman, there does feel like there's a little bit more freedom to be happy. It's almost like that's our part. Even when I think you brought up a very good point when I hear you speak about, Black men and women and our couples and everything that we're passionate about, that is something that I know I always look forward to bringing to a man's life. Like, fun is one of my pillars in life.
Right.
We're going to have fun,
For sure.
the laughing, the kicking it, the letting loose of it all, because I really, if you look at my Instagram page, I really don't take things too seriously. I'm like clowning all the time because and I get heat for some of it. Some people, I'm just like, you just supposed to laugh. That's what I just hashtag, you just supposed to laugh, like lighten up.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I do also understand that there's a lot going on. Not everybody has that privilege. And I even hate to call it a privilege because I believe it is one of our birthrights. But there is just a lot going on, like you said, that chips away at it. And I do think that union between men and women are important because I do think that's part of what we bring. And then, when you do the third part and bring in the child, because I'm sure you can speak to that. I'm sure your son brings so much joy to your life. I'm sure there's a joy. Yeah, that fills in some of those cracks. It's like, he comes home, reads you a nice note he wrote you, or he does something cool and new from when he was younger to now. And you're like, you know what? It feels a little bit lighter. So I wish that, I don't know, it was a little different, but I know I've noticed that it was so important for me to kind of bring this up and, kind of get your perspective on it, because I don't know, what do you think? Not necessarily is a remedy to it, but maybe a two-part question. One, what do you do to bring joy to your life? And what do you think is a good balance for men so it's not like a giddy thing, but it's still joyful?
The first thing is, being aware of it, self-aware of it. Like I said, I called one of my friends. I was like, "Hey, man, you ever been happy?" And he was like, "Whoa!"
That's what I'm.
Like just even asking. Like he was like, "You caught me off guard." Like I gotta think about that. Like, just that energy. And I know that that there are things in my friends' lives that they enjoy every day. I know that they smiling about something every day, but we had to just even consider that. Well, does that mean that we're happy? What does that really mean for us? And it's weird, you have to perform, but you also have to find a way to remove some of the pressure to perform off of yourself, or else you won't live to see a right old age. But I'm blessed. I have feng shui where I live. Like my space suits me, right? So I don't have to go anywhere to, have peace of mind or even enjoy myself. That I can go out on my balcony. I can mix myself a martini. I can open a bottle of champagne. My bed is super duper comfortable. I have a huge soaking tub. My shower lights up different colors depending on
I
how
love
warm
that.
the water is. So that's a huge thing, even for couples, not to get off track, but living space can heavily impact your ability to experience joy. So that's there, and give yourself some credit for things. I suffer from this. Right after I achieve something, I celebrate for 5 minutes, and then I'm like sad, because then I'm like, well, so now what? Because you needed that.
Mm-hmm. Check next.
Yeah, so you have to let yourself be happy. That it's crazy. There's a show that I really, really like on HBO. It's called Winning Time, and it's about the rise of the LA Lakers team. And it starts with the year that the team was bought, and they drafted Magic Johnson. And throughout the show, he's like this smiley, happy dude, and everybody's pissed off at him for that. Like, dude, why do you like? They think that he must not know what's going on in the world to have a smile on his face that much. That in fact, Jerry West, who became the president, was running the Lakers and used to be a player, told him that he just did not believe that he wanted to win because he was too damn happy and he was smiling too much. So even, you know what I'm saying, he found a way to not allow everything that was going around him prevent him from experiencing happiness and prevent him from smiling. And everybody around him thought he was like cooning. Right?
Man.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, his teammates was like, dude, like they hated him. Like literally hated him. Over time, you know, as they got to know him or whatever, that dynamic changed with some of the people. But literally Kareem Abdul-Jabbar asked Magic Johnson's father, like, has he always been like this? Like,
what's up with this guy? Yeah.
Right? You know, and so, yeah, we just have to, you know, tell ourselves that it's okay, that you can be a serious man and still smile and have some happiness, that you can handle your obligations and still find some time to smile. And I think that we have to take care of ourselves, that you can't pour into other people from an empty cup. And so, yes, we are supposed to be sometimes the leader. Yes, we are supposed to be the provider, the protector, and things of that nature. But, you know, even superheroes have alter egos to be able to take days off. And so although we don't have these alter egos where we can go be less of a superhero, we have to take that same mindset and that same dynamic and apply it to our lives. And so it's like, if I take a day off and I just like chill out for a day, like I feel like something's wrong with me. I literally have to look in the mirror and say, are you depressed or something? Why? Because I chilled out on a Saturday? Mm-hmm. Right? Because I was like, you know what? I ain't going to do nothing today. Like, I'm just going to chill, like, and lay around and however it flows to me or whatever it flows. Literally, I asked myself before the day was over, like, are you okay? Are you? So you have to let yourself do that. That I had to have conversations with myself prior to vacations. Like, yo, let yourself forget everything that is going on in the world. Like, I don't want you to think about anything that's going on in Chicago, anything that's going on in your life. And I have to literally like prep myself a few days before a vacation to try to make sure that at least most of the time of that vacation, I'm just in the moment, enjoying the vacation and not thinking about anything else and how to be productive and how to improve and what I need to do about this and what I need to do about that and how I would like to see this move faster or this be more efficient. You know, let all of that go. And so, you know, even me sometimes was judging men for video games and stuff like that, or how into sports or whatever, but it's like some escapism, you know, a period of time where you like let everything else go and you just enjoy the boxing match or enjoy the game, the camaraderie, or the competitiveness of the video game or whatever it is that floats your boat. It's okay, you know, to indulge in that. It's healthy to indulge in the things that bring you joy, make you smile, and make you feel good on the inside. In fact, try to do more of those things.
Like, please do more of those things. And we got the chat lighting up with some good comments. So Tawny says, and I've worked with her, of course, Sassy Method. Because of the Sassy Method, I have attracted a great man that's a great listener and super patient, supportive, highly intelligent, and has a generally happy disposition.
Congratulations.
Yeah, he seems to be not. I shouldn't say seems. He's a really great guy. He deserves. I just haven't met him yet. He deserves to have some of that pressure off. How would he decompress?
So yeah, that's a great question, and that depends on the individual. One person may be able to enjoy themselves doing one thing, and another person something else. But that is a conversation. You should tell him just what you said to us. I think you should like literally quote it like, hey, you know, tell him everything. The Sassy Method helped me attract you, right? And I see you being this, I see you being that, I see you being this, and I believe that you deserve to take the pressure off. And I don't know, I'm not sure if you're already doing it for yourself or whatever, but I just want you to know that I see you, and that's what I want for you, and if there's something that I can do to contribute, I would love to make sure that you have a way to take the pressure off and decompress when you need to.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, please intervene. She said he seems to, people tend to dump their life on him and don't realize they're taking advantage of him. He seems to take that on, and he deserves to feel lightness of being. I mean, and Nyatu, I'm sure you can speak to that because of your profession. People probably just
and
come
it was
in
that,
and
and it was that before that, carrying the water because I'm a good listener, because I'm an empath, because I'm empathetic, because if a person sits and talks to me one-on-one, they won't feel judgment. He, definitely, there's a quote that says people think only weakness or weak people need support, when strength and strong people need it way more, because, many times we're carrying more than just our own burdens. And so I'm so happy that you are paying attention to him and that you can see what's going on. And so, I think it could potentially really light him up, just for you to even acknowledge that you're seeing it and witnessing it without him having to tell you. That within itself is amazing. And then, just encourage him to take care of himself. Again, it's noble. It's very noble and righteous to be upright and to look out for other people and to do all of these things. And I think there's a myth that we think that if we do all of these things, that's going to equate to happiness and fulfillment and everything great happening for us and to us. But no, we have to love on ourselves too. In fact, I dare say that if you're not loving on yourself, then you are limiting the ways in which you can even love on other people. And so, super, Tanya, I'm so proud of you in this moment. I'm impressed by you in this moment. And say everything you're saying to us directly to him, and invite him to share with you, what may help him or what he even does to decompress, so that that's what's going on, so you can get out of the way of it or accentuate it or help it, or, whatever it is that applies to him individually.
yes, I love that. Great share. Thank you, Tawny. That is beautiful and amazing. And yes, your women love you. Us women, we just want to. Dr. Dawn, she's one of my favorite therapist friends. She says, allow space for happiness and joy. It literally increases your life expectancy. And I love that, because we should probably take it that seriously, unseriously, seriously.
Agreed.
Because we want you around, we need you around. And I was going to ask you what made me think, yes, we have to love on ourselves also. Yes, when you were speaking to Tawny's situation, is it the pressure of the sense of duty that kind of keeps men from just going all out with it, like you said? So I can relate to being kind of like that worker bee. I had to work to a space where I could be like, girl, it's a day off, calm down. Like, you're not doing enough. You tend to look at the 3D and the things around. It's like, but this isn't here, and this isn't here, and this isn't here. So why do you deserve to be doing nothing when all these things need to be done? So I understand that, I think we have to rework that thing. I don't have that problem now. We fixed that, because one thing your girl's going to do is relax.
Right.
But do you feel like it's a man's sense of duty to things? Because I feel like there is a pride there, maybe not, that keeps them in more of a doingness instead of the being and the enjoying.
Yeah, there's a tremendous sense of responsibility. We're raised that way, and then if you're paying attention to society and what they're speaking on, why aren't men leaders anymore? Why aren't men doing this? Why aren't men doing that? So it's like, hey, and I guess we feel like the last line of defense. If something happens with you, if it doesn't get done, in the end, it's on me. There's nobody else I can point to. There's nobody I can blame. There's nobody I can tell on. And so that dynamic is ever present in my mind. And so, the amount of money that some people would have could make them very happy. That same amount of money could start making me worried about I'm about to be broke.
Yeah.
Right? Because I have to think ahead, and I have to make it work. There is no other option. So that makes me consider things and look at things a lot differently. I'm certainly not saying all women are like this, but I do know some women. It's just like, they'll take the vacation and worry about it later. They will do the things, and you know what I mean, and worry about it later. I can't do that. And also, and that's not to say, because there are some men who get help, and not only do some men are some men able to get help, but sometimes the help that they get is from women, but it's frowned upon, right?
It's frowned upon. That's funny.
Yeah. It's definitely, if I give my lady $10,000, that's one thing. If she gives me $10,000, it's a totally
you up. No.
It's a totally different thing. If a woman lives with a man, she lives with her man. If a man lives with a woman, he's a homosexual. It's all different. It's a whole
That's so true.
different thing. I saw a quote the other day, and this is just for laughs quote, and I'm paraphrasing, but it said, broke women don't think they're broke. They just think they dating the wrong man. Right? Right? It's like,
I'm laughing so hard because I'm telling on myself.
It's like,
he must not be it, because
right.
What is this?
What is that? What is this? You know what I mean? So, definitely, different dynamics.
The dynamics are absolutely different. That's funny. Yes, Tawny says thank you. Hey B. Oh my gosh, get well, babes. I'm glad you're on here.
Oh, no.
And lovely. Yes, that's amazing. That to me, especially with hearing all this, I definitely think that is the balance necessary. This is why we have to be together, because sometimes you do need to be like, babe, we'll worry about that later. Like, let's go.
Right.
Now that I'm much more, because I used to operate more heavy in my masculine because of some of my mentalities, and to be honest, like, my mom is really light and free and glitter. My mom can work a room in a party like I do. I saw her one day at a Christmas party. I was like, oh, that's where I get it from. Like, it's her. Like, she's my glitter,
Right.
But my dad was always like, you got to be resilient. You have to have character. You have to be persistent. You got to work hard. So I'm out here like, yeah, it's all on me. Like, I'm going to go do this. Like, and it's like, I ended up burning out to a certain degree. So I kind of had to teach myself the tempo.
Right.
And I'm really proud of myself. I've done a good job. But now that it's like when you're riding a beat, you can tell if another instrument is like doing too much. Like, we're supposed to be going like this. Like, it's a beat. You got to ride the beat. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, you don't, unless you're fast forwarding, you don't get to the end of the song. You just got to wait. And then there's going to be a little bridge. And then it's going to come back down, and then it's going to ride out, and you might get, so it's just this flow that I think a woman that is in her feminine can offer, that can kind of, I guess when I talk about this, I see lines. I see like, you could be like this, but it's just like, no, just, ride the wave a little, like, slow it down. Like, let's get the frantic out of that just a little bit and even it out. Everything's going to be okay.
Right.
And I feel like, do you feel that? I feel like that could add more happiness, or at least space and peace to think about being happy and think about doing something enjoyable. Or even if sometimes I hear a lot of men who talk about their joy comes from, well, number one, being appreciated. From what I know, men don't need you to bring in a trophy and some balloons, but if you could just say, oh my God, babe, thank you so much. Like, I totally see that. I love it. Like, I appreciate you. You make my life easier. You put a smile on my face. Like, did it that and to see the people that they love happy. Those are the two things that I've deduced thus far that bring men happiness. But I don't think it's manufactured, but what do you think? Is that aligned or what?
Sure. At least for some, it may
Yeah.
bring fulfillment and satisfaction.
Fulfillment.
It's not always the same thing as happiness, but definitely, I've been thinking about this a lot. So I'm just like, my son brought his 17th birthday in Egypt. Like, I can
He's
never
going
think about that.
off.
Yeah, I can never think about that without, just teasing. I facilitated that didn't happen in one day or just because somebody bought a ticket or anything like that. My grandmother knew that I loved her. My mother knows that I love her. My nieces and nephews, being able to take my nephew to his first concert, like that just filled me up, made me feel so warm and fuzzy on the inside. So there are definitely things that come from that. But I think that, again, sometimes it's the mentality, because we can't expect the world's not going to change to help us to achieve more happiness. So we have to change how we process the world, how we receive the world, how we manage the world in order to create some space for our own happiness. And so, sure, we have some responsibilities. We have a job to do, but what we need to add to that list of responsibilities is enjoyment and happiness and smiles and warm and fuzzy things that happen inside. And we have to pay attention to ourselves enough to know what really brings us those things and, seek to repeat them here and there as needed, for sure.
And to be able to share them and be vocal about them. So like you said, you're going to have to know what they are in order to, because I mean, as much as, I was online and somebody posted that Chris Rock piece at a special where he was like, the only people loved unconditionally is women and kids. Men
and
aren't loved, and
dogs.
And dogs. Men aren't loved, unconditionally. Da 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 da. And I don't know. I couldn't fully agree. And I know, the men really got on me for that. But I feel like we all have negative experiences. We all link up with the wrong person that makes us feel a way. And, it does shape your perception, but it doesn't have to. Because I had to ask the men, you ain't never had a ride or die. You never had a woman who loved your dirty drawers no matter what you did. Like, we got to stop acting like, the love isn't there. But I do think with certain levels of communication and specificity, which you guys are really good at, but for itself, I really feel like there's women who would jump through hoops to facilitate that, like waiting to get a morsel of something to be like, oh, he likes that. I am on it. Like, yes, like, because he does so much, or he's so, you know what I mean?
It's a weird dynamic, right?
It is.
If you won the Powerball today and you won $1 billion and you ended up with $400 million or whatever the case may be, and you were close to marriage with a guy and you gave him $100 million, he couldn't enjoy it for real. He could try, but you're just going to be the dude that got $100 million from your life. You can't even receive in peace. Yeah, it's gonna be like, your lady bought that car. Like,
that ain't yours. Your name ain't even on it.
Right? You know what I mean? And so, I mean, literally not just you bought stuff from him, but you could give him $100 million where he could leave you and still have that $100 million, and there would be something chipping away at being able to enjoy.
You're stressing me out
just because of the setup. Whereas if it was the other way around, and your guy gives you $100 million, it's like, right, exactly. That was how it was supposed to go. And enjoy yourself, the girl. Like,
I manifested that.
Yeah, exactly. The women be rooting for you. Like, girl, how did you do it? Like, you would be the toast of the town.
Yeah.
Right? And we would be the homosexual.
If it was on the But when you think of the yin and the yang, right? And we're all supposed, like, the woman is the receiver, our anatomy says so, the way we're built says so, we're the receiver, but there's still gotta be a little bit of that in, I don't understand. I don't even know what we're going to be able to do about that. Cause what you're talking about, yeah, it's like hardwired in us. Like, yeah,
no one could be saying anything to him. No one could ever say anything. But as he drives down the street, he would be like that.
He in his girl's car. Right. Or that was his girl's money. He ain't get it out it's terrible.
Well, you know what? Certain men would feel that way. Because actually there's some men driving his lady's car right now who doesn't have $1 billion and he ain't feel guilty about nothing. He can care less.
He don't even
driving
work
right now.
Yeah. He don't even work.
He don't care if he's dropping off at work and coming late to pick her up and none of that. He is good with that. But men like myself, that would be a total issue. Because there's just, it's like we're supposed to. That part. So that's where the appreciation doesn't come in. It's like, well, you just doing what you're supposed to take care of your family. You're doing just, you're supposed to mow the lawn. You're supposed to take out the garbage. You're supposed to.
Right.
So, yeah, it's, we have to adjust our mentalities and prioritize our own mental health. And we have to understand that I don't care how traditional something is and how long it's been going on. If it's not healthy for you, then it ain't what's up. You have to find a different way to deal with it or to get rid of it because, the facts are the facts. And it's not 1930 anything or 60 anything or 80 anything.
It's not even 19 anything anymore.
Yeah, it's 2023.
Right.
And so, we have to deal with it accordingly. And every man is different. Don't let people make you have to feel like you have to live up to all of these things just because they're saying that's what it is and that's the way that it has to go. And it's a fine line. Again, we have to teach our sons survival skills, right?
Yes, please.
Man, you don't like this part of manhood, don't worry about it, son.
Yeah, no, please.
The world does not care.
Correct. Change this tire, start this fire, pitch a tent, do something. Yeah.
You better be able to do some things in this world. Life is going to be harder than it has to be.
Facts. It's just so it's wild. But I think my last question, which is kind of piggybacking off the last one, how do us women, how do we facilitate contributing to a man's happiness then? If with all these touchy little things going on, how can we work with you for that? Yeah.
I would say, I think it's almost become cliche, but what a lot of men say is they want a woman to be their peace. And I think what they really mean is don't enact any violence against me.
Jeez.
Yeah. And not physical violence, but white supremacy is a system and a methodology. And things are being done and words being used to steal our peace away from us. And they've trained us to use those things on each other. And so men in rap music and misogynistic and misogynoir, we're falling for it. And Black women are falling for it as well. So, words like boy, the first person to initiate that towards us was, white slave masters, right? A billionaire can look at me lay around on a Saturday and not having $1 billion and say, man, you lazy, right? Yeah. But what? we work for free. And that's how you have this bread because the system is set up, you know what I mean? And so I think as Black women, you all have to be careful about what you adopt and how you let your frustration loose on us and what words and phrases you adopt and let become part of your vocabulary and how you talk to your guy that are really, really, really destructive. right? And it works both ways. Not trying to put that on you guys solidly, but even more than it's something that you need to do, and maybe some things that we need to stop doing. I can recall a woman being very nice to me and very sweet to me and never saying anything out of order to me. But all day long, she was on social media going in on black men, and she did not understand why it would affect me, but it did, and it does. And so even co-signing things, and it's frustrating. It's like, hey, I'm just co-signing because I went through it, but it just contributes to the divide. And so these are the type of questions that I ask myself before I post. Is this going to contribute to the divide? You got to give you a laugh right now. It may make you, 5 guys slap you a high five, or maybe even 50 or 100 guys like it. It may even go viral. But is it contributing to the divide? And if it is, maybe you shouldn't say it, or not that way. Figure out another way to say it, or try to express it, or maybe identify a woman who can say it and it would be received different. But don't contribute to the divide. And so I would say that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I feel a little convicted. I had somebody was so mad because of that one of the posts I just did, because I was like, I stopped dating bad boys and athletes and got a nice guy, and he's like singing to me in the phone. But what's funny is I pulled it from a dude who kind of flipped it opposite, and he kind of made it, he didn't make it negative, but he was less interested in the good dude. So I thought, no, like but people still found a problem with it. So I don't know. Sometimes I know my content sometimes hits buttons, but I don't know. I'm having a good time.
And so I wasn't targeting you. I haven't seen anything in your content that I had an issue with. I just want to say that.
No, I just thought about it myself, and then I'm like, yeah, here with this conversation, we balance it out. Now we're even.
Right.
I do my part. No.
Indeed. Hey, that's that duality of life.
Because it's duality in real life.
Yeah. Just because I say don't contribute to the divide doesn't mean I've never contributed to the divide, but I just try not to contribute to the divide. So.
Yeah, no, that was great advice, and you're so true. I try to be mindful of those things because I know how it can be. For me, I've done less of it the older I get, but usually I always keep my dad in mind. He's just such an honorable man, and I try to just think like it used to really have me in a chokehold. Then I was like, I gotta be me. Yes, right. I cussed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta be free. Like, but I do think about, like, I would never want somebody to say that to my dad. I would never want my dad to hear me say that to somebody, or, it's just, I did not grow up that way. It is absolutely unacceptable. I know some of the things he's been through in life just as a Black, like, it's just, so you're right, but it's easy. You watch, 4, 5, 6 reality TV shows, and the bees and hoes, and it's flying. All of it is just flying.
Absolutely.
And so you have to be mindful. And, you did make a point. It is on both sides, because I just feel like, some of the stuff that I'm reading, women were trying to figure it out too, because I know there's a lot of chatter going around about all these things, but it's still not going to change like what we need and how we need men to show up. And a lot of people, including myself, are kind of like opting for singlehood, because now we're like, we like our peace. So we get it. We get the whole peace statement. So, again, conversations like these, I hope, contribute to ideas where we can harmoniously work together, because we can. We really can, between the work that you do, the work that I do, and the work that I know everybody's capable of. Everybody has greatness in them, which is a quote from one of the last guys I interviewed, Cyrus Assar, who was amazing. We're all capable of it. So we just got to keep putting that energy out there. Most of the women I know, even though frustrated and we're like, no, like I'm not about to do this because my peace, nobody is like bitter. Nobody's like, well, we don't need men. We do need you. We're just like, all right, well, we'll just wait still, because there does still have to be. So if we can let go some of these ideas that came from God knows where and not let them have such a hold on us that we're all performing in this way that is not conducive to being together, then I mean, I believe we could eventually make it. It just is not going to happen overnight because this didn't happen overnight. So the
Right.
change isn't going to happen overnight. And I know that's where my patience comes from. I don't know if my girls are still in the chat, but before we got on here, we're like, yeah, girl, we feel like love is coming. We better all be in each other's weddings. We're going to have some fun. Like, we're just like, just be the love, be there for it, have a good time, smile, laugh. I feel like that is not our job as a woman, but our job. That's our part, to be light and happy and welcoming and whatever. We can carry that disposition generally without a problem until, there's some things we come up against, but whatever.
Right.
So yeah, I'm wanting to see the harmony in all of it is all I'm trying to say. And we want to see y'all happy because you deserve it. Even if you're not like, got this big
Absolutely.
clown face on, just feel good,
Yeah, I don't want everybody to get in this space where they are convinced that that single is the best thing to be.
Man.
But the number one reason is the human race won't continue if we all are happy to not be with each other at all.
I know.
Doesn't
work.
Yeah, I don't know how that's. I don't know how that. So this is definitely, I find fulfillment, enjoyment, and peace in being single. But I want to be in a relationship because I think that's maximization.
Yes.
Those things, right?
Yes.
Highest level. I believe I can reach a higher level if I can really be happy and at peace, and my person is really happy and at peace, and we're sharing that all together and blending that all in.
Come on.
Sounds doper to me.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's not dope being by myself. But I don't want to promote. I don't like to promote. I don't want to shame anybody for being single or enjoying a single, if they're single or whatever the case may be. I don't know if we want to try to promote that. And I see that. I see people, men and women, really pushing that.
I know.
Really trying to make people feel like if they into love and stuff like that, they're a simp or a pick me, or it's like it's something wrong with them. I really hate to see that.
Yeah.
I really hate to see single people trying to beat people over the head that they should not care about being in a relationship and not even desire a relationship, and men or women. I really hate to see it. If you enjoy it, just enjoy it and promote how good it is for you. Stop trying to sis and bro and bruh everybody into buying into this separation, this divisive mindset that some people are adopted as a defense mechanism.
It is a defense mechanism because at the end of the day, be real. And let's be real. We were designed to be together. Yeah,
we're gonna go against nature.
This is by design. It's okay. It is okay. So we just got to get it together. I believe in it. I know you do too. This was such a fun conversation.
Yeah. It started out heavy. I'm glad we lightened it up and we worked our way through it. We avoid difficult and uncomfortable conversations. We set the stage for dysfunction. And so I think we were able to look at it through the Black love lens, right?
Per use.
I think that is extra dope and extra special and extra unique. And I think people get something out of it for sure.
I think so too. And thank you guys so much in the chat. I love all of your comments and involvement. And it really tells us that you're enjoying our conversation as well. So thank you for that. Before we get out of here, okay. Derek, before you go, I have a pop-up question for you both. Okay, cool. Well, while you put your question in, and Nyatu, why don't you tell people? Yeah, why don't you tell people where to find?
So I love this new feature that has Nyatu Marvel's Hitch right there on the screen. So that is my Instagram, no spaces, and Nyatu Marvel is Hitch. On Facebook is just my government name, birth name, and Nyatu Marvel, is Hitch. And then also, of course, you can go to thehitchagency.com, which is my website, where you can find out what I'm all about, what my services are all about, and find if you're interested in healthy dating, healthy love, healthy marriage, and things of that nature. I have great information, articles, and blog entries surrounding those subjects. So some great reading material as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you if you're coaching any men and they looking like something. I got friends. Like, you better speak up in y'all
I
too.
really need to add the matchmaking component to it. There was a time where I didn't believe in it, and I was just afraid of failing in that. You put two people together, and now they hate each other.
Yeah, they're like,
and
I
they
know.
hate you.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think there's some value there, and yeah, I agree with you totally. I definitely need to be trying to help great people connect with great people.
Yes, because you're such a great person, and I feel like you know what you're doing.
Thank you. I tried my best.
Yes, that's all that's required, to be honest. Okay, Derek said, if in a relationship, what is the one thing you wish you was better with?
Man, I wish I had unlimited patience, Derek. I really do, because when I'm in a patient mode, I really do make good decisions and I do handle things right. My zen is there, oh my God, like I will talk people down off the ledge, and it is magic. Not even trying to toot my own horn, but when I'm in zen mode, I will say all of the right things, and man, it is beautiful. When I lose my patience and I'm frustrated, I have the opposite talent probably. That I'm not cursing anybody out and I'm not calling them names, but I'm saying things with a tone and in a way that no one would appreciate. And so, yeah, if I was be better with one thing, it would be, being able to be in Zen mode all the time, having the patience to be able to do that. That's my answer.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one. I'm trying to think of mine is kind of similar.
Okay.
I feel like because finding the tempo is new in my life, and not new like yesterday, but with my age and you do the math, I've been a little bit more stressed than I have just like, okay. So trying to translate that same, it's patience, the same level of calm, the same not being afraid. Sometimes I get afraid because I've been through things. If I see something, I'm kind of like on it, and I'm kind of like, so what are we gonna do about this? Like, I really need to talk about, I need this to be okay. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm scared. Like, this is, and so I know not everybody knows how to handle that. And it takes time to learn how to handle your person. But I feel like, probably in one of my last relationships, it was just, I don't know, it like freaked him out. Like, it wasn't even, when I discussed some of the language with somebody else, somebody who can handle that, it wasn't a big deal. It was just like, hey, these are my triggers. This is how I feel. This is what I'm afraid of. And you're kind of giving me that right now. So I don't know.
Right.
I tossed you the ball. Now I'm waiting to catch it. And I'm like, so what is it? Can I think I was looking for maybe reassurance,
right?
At least just like that you saw me, you hear me, and what can we do? But if I could be better, I think that I could breathe and tempo things out a little bit more and let things like ride out a little bit more. I feel like I could be better at that. And that would not put so much, even though it's unintentional.
Right.
But it wouldn't put so much pressure maybe on someone to perform. It's not a performance. Like, I just, I'm working through my attachment styles. Okay, Derek?
God bless.
So yeah, it's like a patience thing. Like, you're getting to know each other. Like, this is what's, you look at this, he look at that. It's just not going to happen all at once. So I feel like I could be better at that.
Nice. So Derek, I hope you
nice answers.
He did.
Yeah, and he said for him it's absolutely communication. I know, and there's so many nuances to it. I was watching a short I saw on YouTube the other day, and this guy was like, when you're apologizing to a woman, it has to be like this. And as right as he was, I was like, who, realistically, how could somebody figure that out? It's so delicate. It's just, it sounds hard.
This is why I do this, because I know, like, where do you find these tools? Where are you supposed to get these tools from? How are you supposed to know these things?
It's wild.
So complex, and it requires a lot. But again, that's one of the things that excites me about the potential of marriage, is it putting me in a position where I really have to be my best self even more of the time, which is exhausting too at the same time. But
It is.
I'm also excited about the challenge and what the result could be of that. Right? I know
I'm with you on that.
Parenting changed me in some really great ways and really gave me some really great things. And I think marriage, obviously the right marriage, I've had the same experience, even though being a parent is obviously the hardest thing I've ever done.
I believe it. And that's what I was going to say. That's hard. But people, they love their kids. They celebrate their kids. Like, they teach their kids grow them. They teach them and all these things. And we love it. And it's beautiful, but it's hard. And sometimes I feel like, especially because I don't have kids, I'm like, man, I wish you could understand, because to me, what is really sexy about a man, it's like, my kids and my mama and my this and that, like, that's all blood, and I get it, and that's all fine and good. But like, how do you love somebody that's not related to you? That shows me risk and fortitude and perseverance and all of these richer things that I find just a lot more impressive, because it's like, of course you love your kid. You look at him, issue, like, that's easy.
Right.
But somebody who could leave, somebody who could hurt you, somebody who's not blood related, can you do what it takes to overcome what it is in you to genuinely love a woman or a counterpart? And that's just so impressive to me. A lot of the other stuff, guys be trying to get it. I take care of my mama and my kid. I don't care about that. You love me? You gonna take care of me?
Yeah. You love me?
You love me? That's all I care about. The rest is a byproduct. We're good. I get it. You're nice. Can you love me?
Right.
Just asking.
That is definitely a thing, and that is definitely part of it. So definitely don't forget to share with them about Sassy and where they can find you. It looks like there are some people who are new chiming in and watching, and
I love it. What are your educational titles? Well, I'll let Nyatu share his. I'm School of the Hard Knocks.
I have a bachelor's degree in business management and minor in marketing and accounting. I am not a licensed clinical technician or anything. I did get a life coaching certification, and I also did go get a certification in couples counseling, premarital, and marriage. And the rest is just the School of Hard Knocks, being a Black love enthusiast and really wanting to see people do better if that's what they want to do in the romantic space, with the hope that the end result is more Black people coming together and being accustomed to coming together, so that it can become the trend and the popular thing, so that most of us are doing that.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm School of the Hard Knocks, but I love that for me. And so do the people I coach. I've been to therapy, and I love the licensing and the paper. But even in therapy, I had to look at my therapist one day like, girl, you ain't never heard problems like these before. Like, I feel like she was coming to the thing with just popcorn. I'm like, you younger than me. We are not the same demographic. Girl, you've been married since you were 18. You don't know about this life.
Right.
Never mind. Like, you telling me about cognitive dissonance. I can't. I need help. So, I didn't go to school for, once I graduated high school, I dove right into adulting, and I've had a very colorful experience. But I am the creator of the Sassy Method: Sassy, Self-Love and Mastery, Accountability and Alignment, Spiritual Wellness, Supplanting in Your Why. And I found this method to be a very well-rounded and perfect way to kind of get people in touch with themselves, which in turn makes them better partners, better mothers. We've got to be good individually and whole and full. And just the way I've been able to kind of like, guide people through the dark to the door. People are trying to feel their way out, and I'm just like, hey, the door is over here. They got it in them. They know, but it's just sometimes you need people to shine the light on the things that you can't see because it's been so habitual for you. And then, you know, we pull that out, we put other things in, and you can go on your merry way. The whole plan with my sassy method, this is not a thing you need to be in for 3 years. You know, 3 months is the program. I've had one person go for 5. They're done. They're new. They're good. The foundation is there. And they got their whole little personalized playbook to just, if they need to refer anything, but they're genuinely good, you know, and until, you know, I don't know, something might happen and whatever. But so that's what I do. That's what I love. Sassymethod.com. You can also find me on Instagram here. Stay tuned in to my YouTube channel and turn the notifications on because I'll just be going live. And we got shows. You know us. We'll be here again next Wednesday at 7 Central Time, which is 5 on the West, 8 on the East. And yeah, there you have it.
Nice. Hope you got your question answered. Thanks, everybody. Happy Winning Wednesday evening.
All right, y'all. Peace.